welcome to Blossoming Children. So glad that you're here. And today I am absolutely delighted. I've been waiting for this conversation. We booked it a long time ago and it's finally here. So I'm absolutely delighted to be talking to Sukanya. Sukanya, welcome to Blossoming Children. Would you take a few minutes and introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi, hello. So I was born in Sahaj in Switzerland and went to, I think, all the Sahaj schools that there were, Romashram, Milan, which was Galate, and then Dharamshala. And then I came back to Switzerland for high school and for university, and I found a job there. And then I got married in 2008 in Pune. My husband is Indian, lives in London. And so I moved here to London. And we have now 3 children. Our older boy is 8. The middle one is 6. And we've got a 6-month-old little boy. 7 months, actually, now.
Wow, you have your hands full. You are a busy mama. Oh,
yeah.
my goodness. And you said all boys, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is your house very loud?
It can be. It's nice. Because when they're at school, it's very quiet.
Yeah. Is that something you had to adjust? Did you grow up with boys or brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers.
Oh, okay. So you are already very comfortable in this world of boys.
Yeah.
We should maybe, yeah, maybe we should talk about special things that we need to do with boys. Maybe boy mama information is also good to share.
Well, I'm learning. It's everything is so new. It's such a steep learning curve that I don't have much to share. I'd have more questions, I think.
Being a parent is such a learning curve because we don't know till we become parents, and they teach us. The children we get make us the parents. And so how would you know till you get to the role, until you have to go through that age?
Exactly. It's one of those things you cannot prepare for in life. A bit like Sahaj marriages.
Yeah, this is true. We were also married in Sahaj a long time ago. So yes, I think it's a good way to be open, to be changing and be flexible. So you mentioned that you went to Sahaj schools, you were raised in Sahaj, which brings up the obvious question that I'm sure once you had children, you were very intentional in helping them to have a relationship with Shri Mataji, because your whole life is defined by being in Sahaj, the Sahaj values, having a direct relationship with Shri Mataji, and you were so lucky to see her as you were growing up. And I think that's where we are all with our next generation of children who are not able to see her, who are not having a direct connection with her. So I'd love for you to share some insight in what you have tried in your family. How are you helping them to have a relationship with Shri Mataji?
Yes, so the developing that relationship is actually one of the priorities we have, and we try and do it different. I mean, when I was growing up in the school in Dharamshala, we had half an hour meditation in the morning and half an hour meditation in the evening, and it was a mix of lots of bhajans and a talk maybe once in a while, and prayers and readings from the mantra book. And that was our meditation, but we were also immersed in the whole Sahaj atmosphere all the time. So the relationship grew, but in a different way. And I think at some point, at least for me, it was that at one time I had to just decide for myself, okay, what is my relationship inside of all of this? What is my individual relationship with Shri Mataji? And I think something that helped me a lot was getting letters from my mom, because she used to write to me and used to tell me about the pujas in Kabbalah and what Shri Mataji wrote. And I remember one very specific letter where she said Shri Mataji spoke about recognition, how to recognize that she's there all the time. And I remember that very well, and trying to imbibe that into my life and to see, well, where is she around me, you know, in my life. With my kids now, I try and simplify it a little bit. So I do lots of practical things like reading stories from the Recollections series. We watch, they love watching The Vision, which is that very, very old documentary that came out, and they watched it just this evening as well. Just, you know, half of it. They love watching that because it shows about her, it tells about her. I like showing them videos where she is with children. The nice thing about having the old tapes about the pujas is that you had the entire puja, so you could see the part where the children come up and watch her. And I think there are maybe 1 or 2 videos like that circulating on YouTube. So I think I've picked up one.
Yeah, you know, maybe share that link, because I was trying to find that as well. I was like, everything is edited. Now we just have clips, and I wanted to show that to our granddaughter too. And I was like, why is it so hard? We grew up with that.
I think it's because it's a question of children being on the camera. So there must be a question of, I don't know, safeguarding and things like that. But I've seen one because my mummy spotted one.
Okay, well, share it with me, and I'll share it with everybody else.
Yeah. And so we try and show them videos where she's with children. There are even videos where she arrives at the airport and all the kids come to greet her. And so they like to watch that. Another thing we've done is I've taken out sometimes quotes from her talks. So I would go on the Nirmala Vidya website and type a word about a topic that I think they should be working on. For example, being obedient. So I'll type obedience, and then I'll pick up a quote or something on several topics, forgiveness, for example, or equality, or, you know.
I love that idea, getting a quote. I love that.
And what I did is, so I'll cut out the quotes, fold it up, and put it in a little box by the altar. And then every day they can just pick one up and read it, and then just, you know, reflect on it a little bit, and we'll talk about it and we'll say, what do you think? And
that is such a nice idea.
Yeah.
Then they like getting engaged.
It's practical. The other thing that we've also done is, now that they're old enough, well, as soon as they could read and write, we encourage them to listen to Shri Mataji's talk. And the way we did that is that we said, look, you know some words now in English, you know how to read, you know how to catch some words, you know how to write them. So whatever words you can remember from her talk, just write them down on a piece of paper. It can be any word, whatever it is. And it's surprising to see what they remember at the end, you know, to see their notes at the end. And they will not remember just words, they will remember full sentences. So we've given them just a little hint, and they've taken a lot more. And
I love these ideas. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Yes. And also I think it'll help their attention, because they really are listening.
They are listening and they're taking notes, which is something that we were encouraged to do as well, as yogis. So little things like that. Now, when they listen to a talk, they actually remember. They don't need to write down. But I tell them before, I say, boys, I am going to ask you to tell me 2 things that Shri Mataji has said, or 2 things you can remember that she says from this talk. So pay attention.
Okay. And how long do you pay them for?
Well, sometimes we go through the whole talk. It depends how long they sit. Okay. We see how we feel. And then at the end of the meditation, you know, I'll say, okay, so what do you remember from the talk? And they will come up with a couple of things. And sometimes, very funnily, it'll be things that we didn't catch. So it's a good lesson for us.
Yeah.
And that they apply it afterwards. So I think my little one, he loves this one. He remembered from a talk that Shri Mataji said, you have to say the Lord's Prayer twice so that the Kundalini can rise. And when I ask him to meditate, now I ask them sometimes to meditate by themselves, because I've got the baby to look after and I think they can manage. But he does that. So he sits down and he'll say the Lord's Prayer twice, and then he'll raise the Kundalini and he'll put his hand back and he'll sit. And so I think, you know, that helps them to put everything together.
Yeah, and feeling involved. You know, they're involved, they're doing something and they're engaged. And when children are engaged, they get excited. You know, they're enjoying it. There's joy there.
We also tell them stories about our own experiences with Shri Mataji. So me growing up and my own experiences going to school, to a non-Sahaj school, and how having Shri Mataji in my life helped me, and they love hearing those stories because they think it's so cool. So that's nice. And I think every time that they want to, every time the desire from them comes to do a puja or to offer something or to pick flowers for Shri Mataji, or to, if we're in the supermarket and they'll say, oh, we need to take flowers for Shri Mataji. Even if I have to cross the whole supermarket back again to go and get those flowers, I'll be like, no, we should really do it. Because if I say no, they're going to think, what is she
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. But you're supporting them. You're supporting their desires. That's sweet.
Well, yes, because here it's, in a place where they're going to a non-Sahaj school, they have non-Sahaj friends. When they do get that inspiration to offer something to her or to show their adoration for her, if I, on top of that, come down and say, no, we don't have the time, we really have to go.
Yeah.
Sending them the completely wrong message, and it's slowly going to push them away. So it's really important. And the other night, my older one was saying, Mummy, I'm having, scary thoughts. Can you do some candling? And this was after I had spent an hour tidying up the kitchen and I was completely exhausted. And all I wanted to do was just go to sleep. And I stood there for a moment and I was like, this is one of those moments. Okay, let's do this, get out of bed, so we came back down, did candling and everything, and he went to bed and he was fine. I think these little things count a lot.
They do. And also it's showing that he's becoming sensitive to his vibrations, and he's becoming aware. He knows what he needs, and he's asking. And isn't that what we want for our children, to be empowered where they can help themselves?
Yes. And then also relating the deities to Shri Mataji. I think Niranjana mentioned that in one of her videos, in her interview, sorry. And so they do that. So the little one, for example, if he gets scared at night, he knows, he says, oh, Mommy, I said the mantra to Shri Mahakali and, I felt better. Or if he comes to me and says, I'm having nightmares, I'll say, okay, well, why don't you, say this and this mantra. And so they try and it works, for them. So that helps. And I think there's so many little things that can create the relationship, that can support it. And even the environment which is not Sahaj, I think somehow they see it more clearly, because they can see a very big difference. They can see the effect it has for them and how it's working. So it's challenging, and sometimes I get worried, that what am I doing? What are we doing? Are we guiding them the right way? And but then we just have to say, relax. They're Shri Mataji's children. We're doing the best we can, and we don't know what's going on inside them. She knows.
That's right.
Trust that.
I think the fact that you're creating an environment and you're introspecting and you're showing up for the children and being present for them and guiding them, you're helping them so much. When we were talking earlier, you had mentioned that they write letters to Shri Mataji. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so this was one of those inspirational moments that came when we watched a broadcast from Kabela where the children had offered hearts with messages to Shri Mataji. And I think it was on the Mahasamadhi day. And it was one of those days where, I took a moment for myself to watch that. I just logged on just at that moment, and then I had to go for the baby and all that. And I thought to myself the whole day, I thought, we're going to offer flowers. We will sit down at some point and offer flowers. And it didn't happen. And after dinner, we happened to have a very late dinner because things were just crazy that day. And I think it was about 9 o'clock in the night. We were tidying up, and I said to the boys, boys, today's a special day, and we should really sit down to meditate for a little while, at least just to put our attention on Shri Mataji and on her life. And they said, yes, Mommy, we know the importance. Papa spoke to us this morning, and so we know. So I said, okay, so why don't we do this now? I thought, well, I don't have any flowers now. So I remembered the little hearts from Kabela. So I said, boys, you know what? Let's bring out the craft paper, cut out some hearts, and we each write a message and we offer it. And it was really nice. And we all, each of us, wrote our little thank you message to Shri Mataji and offered it. Oh. And it was a nice moment. And we thought, well, why not carry on? You know, it doesn't have to be just today. We can do this anytime. So we cut out more hearts together and then kept the pile of hearts by the altar with a pencil. And, you know, I said to them, look, boys, whatever is in your hearts, whether it's a prayer, whether you want to thank Shri Mataji for something, you want to ask her for her help, you want to tell her about a problem you're having, write it down and offer it to Shri Mataji. And if you don't want anyone to read it, just fold it in half and leave it there. And if you just want to express your love and leave it open, you can leave it open. And if you want, you know, like this, if we're just there and we see it, then it doesn't matter if we happen to read it, it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
And so they enjoyed that very much, and they did it. They did it, and I saw folded hearts, which I never opened, and and other open ones, which, you know, which said, Shri Mataji, I love you so much, or thank you for my life, or, you know, really, really sweet things. So that also creates that relationship. It brings her into their life in a very real way.
Yeah. I think this is it. I think to develop that real love and relationship, one thing that we do often is a gratitude prayer. And so we always end our meditation with a gratitude prayer and whatever comes in our heart in the moment. And I've noticed the more we've done it, the more list is getting longer. In the beginning, it was very short.
Mm-hmm.
So when they do it more, it becomes natural.
Yes, yes, yes.
We're almost out of time. So
Already?
yeah, I know it goes fast. So anything else, anyone listening? I think you've given amazing suggestions. This is so helpful. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would say to parents who have younger kids than yours or the same age kids than yours? How, anything else to help them?
Well, just always just remember what the purpose of that intention is. Now, not to lose the focus that we're trying to build that connection with Shri Mataji so that they have it for life, because they are small now and the foundations are built now, and the stronger they are, the more they will help through those challenging teenage years, etc., as they get older and later on in life. And also, I think whatever we do, I mean, none of these things that we do came through a lot of thinking. It was all very spontaneous, and I have a lot of moments where I say, Shri Mataji, I just don't know what to do. Can you just sort it out? Can you please, take your child, these are your children, show me how to go about it, and then maybe a few days later something will happen, something will occur to me, and say, well, let's try this, or let's do that. Or a lot of times our meditations are conversations. We start with a conversation about, how do you feel about this? The other day it was all about, do you talk to your friends about meditation at school? And my older one said, well, yes, because everyone meditates now, so some of my friends tell them. And to the younger one, it was completely different. He said, no, I don't tell anyone. So I said, well, why not? And he said, because it's special and it's secret, and I don't think they all need to know. So,
Good answers.
talk
Good.
about those things. I think it's really important to have meditations where we talk and then after having that small conversation, we'll reconvene and we'll say, okay, you know what, let's meditate now for a little while and just bring our attention inside, and they will sit still, they will go into their meditation. Occasionally I'll see them giving a bandhan in their hand for something. I don't know what, I won't ask, but I'm just happy they're doing it.
Yeah.
But it comes spontaneously. So there's really, there's no need to get stressed out. We really have to relax. We also have to see our own desire, that our pure desire is there really for them to be brought up as Saj Yogis, and that we pray in all humility that we're doing the right thing and we're doing the best we can. And Shri Mataji, ultimately it's up to you. It's all yours. It's all, your will, up to your whatever you desire. The other thing that I find very important is to take a step back. Now, it's not easy to take a step back from your own child sometimes because there are natural attachments. But a good way to detach is to see them as another Saj Yogi, not as a child, not as an adult. I mean, the same with that I do sometimes with my husband, or my husband does with me. We say, take a step back forget all the relations we have. We're just two Saj yogis above the relationship. So the same with the child. You just go beyond the relationship. We are Saj yogis. They are Saj yogis. And that really puts everything into perspective. It develops that respect for the child. It develops that love for the child, that, you know, this is another Saj yogi. I have to treat that Saj yogi with respect. I cannot keep correcting that Saj yogi. I cannot keep, you know, treat them like it's ageless. I have to say it's beyond age,
Yeah.
but it's also beyond relations.
Yeah. It's the witness state. You're
Yeah.
describing it very beautifully.
Yes, and I think, you know, the beautiful thing about this whole Sahaj family is that the moment you look at someone and you think this is a Saj yogi, that respect that comes inside your heart,
Yeah.
if that can be applied to the child, then it gives them also the space to grow. It gives them the space to grow, and which is what they need.
Yeah.
And well, we have to detach, really.
You know, you're giving such good, deep advice. I love it. You know, at the end of the day, it is about our desire to help them and being intentional, but also leaning into Shrimati for asking for help because we don't have all the answers, and she sends us the answers and allowing them. I think at the heart of any relationship, respect is so key. And when we can respect children and when they feel respected, they're more likely to listen and learn from us.
Yes, absolutely.
Otherwise, it's like, you don't listen to me. Why should I listen to you? It doesn't quite flow this way.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
we could continue the conversation. I have a feeling we need to have a second follow up to this because this was amazing.
Yeah, it would be nice. It's
Okay,
been
let's
so
do it.
quick.
You're
Already.
welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
Um, this was amazing. I was loving some of the ideas. I'm definitely going to try them, and I'm definitely going to share the video with other people because we can learn from this so much. So thank you, Sukanya. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, Prerna. Thank you very much.
And thank you, everybody who has subscribed and supported Blossoming Children. It's very gratifying and very humbling to know that it is helping so many families. And there are no perfect parents and there are no perfect children. And we're just sharing our experiences to help each other that, you know, we can continue Shrimati's work, we can continue her legacy, and the next generation can actually develop a relationship with Shri Mataji and feel the same love and joy that we felt when we were with her. So until next time, thank you so much.